former England defenders. Jamie Carragher, for example, has said that he's played 19 minutes at this World Cup. That is a travesty. He's the most naturally talented player England have. Gary Neville has also said not to be playing Phil Foden in an England starting 11 is a real shame. I think he's our best talent by a mile in this country. So that's just those two opinions. Positionally not right for Foden to play is what Gareth Southgate was alluding to there. What side of this sort of fence are you on?
I think you look at it as a supporter, as an outsider of the England camp, as someone, and you're looking at the game yesterday and you think, how can we win this game? Gareth, as he mentioned in his dialogue there, he's got a mentality of, yes, how can we win this game? But also as well, the Americans were the better team. They were the team looking more likely to win the game. Let's not beat about the bush. Yeah. So Gareth's thinking to himself, I don't need to lose this game, you know. Yeah. So when you're making those substitutions, you've got to think to yourself, if Phil comes on, I thought in the front three, I thought Mount was our best player in the front three. Because of what he was pressing with and whatever, and his bit of energy that he gave us. So for me, it was almost a like for like. You're either putting Grealish on the pitch or you're putting Foden on the pitch on that left-hand side. They're both of their most favoured positions, I would say. He's got the problem on the right-hand side with Saka, who I don't think had a deal of impact in the game, but their left-back was arguably one of their best weapons, getting forward and supplementing everything Pulisic was doing just in front of him. So you're thinking, well, if I put Foden on the right-hand side, is Phil ideally suited to tracking Robinson back, you know, and his energy, his pace and all that game. So it's a real difficult conundrum for him. So I can quite understand why he's ended up not doing what he's doing. I can also understand people's frustration. And Phil Foden is an interesting one. I love everything he does in a Manchester City shirt. There's so much more to come, and he is a young man in an England shirt, and none of us can sit here and say Phil Foden's been exactly the same player and has had the same impact at international level as club level as yet. He will do, that will come, but at the moment I don't think he has.
So you don't think even starting? Do you think would you be starting Phil Foden
in the next game? Definitely.
But
yes.
That's because you're thinking about the knockout rounds rather than.
And we need all the key players for us. Let's say Gareth's got to get to a situation come at the end of the Wales game, hopefully with a victory, hopefully with another performance that leaves us on a high again. But he's got to solve exactly what his starting 11's going to be in the knockout stages. You know, he's got to understand what shape he wants to play, and he's got to understand what the starting 11's going to be. To do that, I think you've got to give as many as you can a game against Wales to stake a claim to be in that team. In the first game of the tournament, I would have picked exactly the same team as Gareth did. I would have played Saka that side, I would have played Sterling that side, and probably Mount in behind. Because of what I've seen, them wearing an England shirt, not wearing their club shirts, wearing an England shirt.
And look, coaching has evolved incredibly, Stuart, in the last couple of decades. And every game has different problems, which I think where England, and certainly under Gareth, and looking even at the under-21 levels as well, that you are prepared to make changes to teams who give you different problems.
Yes.
Gone are the days when we used to go, well, they won last week, that 11, so I'm going to go and play that 11. Them days are well gone.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. So that's the sort of thing will be put in front of Gareth. He will look at who they've got, where their problems are going to be coming from, and choosing players that will make the most difference against these other players.
I think you've only got to look at the group that we're in. We rolled out of a game on Monday night thinking we'll turn the Americans over. It was far from it. The Welsh probably thought, well, we've got a draw here, we'll win this one, and all of a sudden they're on the back foot. As Cass said, every game is independent. It's how good you are at bringing players on, and you hope and you keep your fingers crossed when you do bring them on, they have the impact. I think yesterday Henderson gave us a good impact. He come on, he had bags of energy. He ended up making those darting runs from inside to out that on occasion...
One of the first things he did was that run. It was brilliant.
He'd done it because his manager had identified that, hang on, what do we need? Saka is isolated with Robinson, the fullback, which on a normal day is a really good thing. When you're not beating the fullback, it's a bad thing. So he needed someone making those runs to give Saka a little bit of freedom. And we needed the energy within the group. So on comes Henderson. He delivered that. He needed Grealish to carry the ball, break the game up a little bit, knock the States out of their momentum. He did that. I think the game before, Rashford's come on and scored. Grealish has scored in the game. Callum Wilson's come on and laid one on and played well. So I think the substitutes have been good. And the good thing is, when the Americans made changes, there was no impact. I can't remember anything that Rayner done when he come on, or the other 2 or 3 subs. They didn't have any impact. They didn't take the team better. They made them probably slightly worse. The good thing about England, we've got impact substitutes, and I think they've contributed over the last 2 games. I really do.